Was Morbius doomed from the very start? Guys, welcome back to the Jersey Comic Crew. Chris and Rob here, and we're going to answer the major question about this movie. Was it actually doomed from the start? Rob, what do you think? Was Morbius doomed?
Unfortunately, I think we're going to be both on the same page on this one. I do think that this movie was doomed from the start. Now, this movie was in production time during peak of COVID, right? So there was countless delays and rewrites. There was a rush to get the movie out because they needed to get money for the studio. During COVID uncertainty, there was so much chaos that surrounded this movie that, like, you have too many cooks in the kitchen. You're looking at one project for too many times, too many rewrites. They could have wrote this movie into oblivion, and it kind of seems like that may have been the case here with just too much going on.
Yeah, it was that, and then there was that confusion where, is it going to come out before Venom 2? Is it going to come out after Venom 2? Is it going to come out before No Way Home or after No Way Home, right? There was like 2 or 3 movies in that pipeline, whether it was Sony or Sony related with Disney and MCU, of where this is coming out, whether it was towards, the end of 2020, then into 2021, and now got delayed, pushed back up. It was this very odd scenario with this movie that you basically forgot about, and then would be like, oh yeah, right, there's a Morbius movie kind of coming out sometime.
Yep.
So I could see where trying to position this movie for release by itself would have been a trouble sight to look forward to for this movie.
Yeah.
But Rob, for me, the final nail in the coffin, no pun intended, was the fact that the director himself spoiled the movie.
Yeah, that was
3
rough.
days before it came out, and I found out the old-fashioned way at the comic store, right? I wasn't even looking for this stuff online. I was at the comic store, and I was told, like, yeah, he already spoiled it. I was like, what? Yeah, that he posted on Twitter the end of the movie. He posted the entire after-credit scenes of the movie. So by then, I was like, oh my god, like, why are people going to buy these tickets? And a guy there took his tickets back because he found this out.
I don't blame the guy, because if you have a director who's spoiling the end of the movie, which is one major reason to see a movie, and then the after credit scene in this stage of modern superhero or Marvels, where the after credit scene is a reason in and of itself to watch it, you're gonna be like, why do I need to see this movie? I mean, the only thing I can think of was like, he didn't have faith in the movie, right? That's the only thing that rings to my mind. He didn't have faith in the movie that's gonna do well. He wants people to go out and see it for themselves to kind of draw up attention. I don't understand why he would have done that, man.
I don't know, man. Like, it seems to me like a corporate situation too, right?
Oh, by Sony? You think Sony kind of told him to do it?
I don't even know if they told him. I think it was more like they just allowed it, because I don't know what they thought the projection numbers on this movie was, but Sony doubled down. Like, they retweeted those tweets and were like, go see Morbius. Here's the ending. Here's the after credit scenes. And everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Like, if there was any kind of hope to get this movie, it was 2 things, right? One, it's the hope of, hey, I haven't seen it yet, I'm going to give it a chance.
Yeah, that
was number 2 is that they scrubbed all the Spider-Man stuff from that trailer. So you know going in that the movie has been spoiled, the after credit scenes are spoiled, and any connection to either Maguire or Andrew Garfield, Oscorp, all that stuff was taken out of the movie before it came out. So now you're in this situation where it's like, okay, I know how the movie ends. I know where the after credit scenes are connecting. Why am I going to waste my $12 to $20 on tickets for this movie? Like, it makes no sense, besides it's just they had to get it out.
I can see a director in a studio teasing on what one of the after credit scene could be, because, like, we know there's Spider-Man connections here, right? Like, let's say there wasn't, right? And then they were like, one of the scenes, it may or may not feature a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, something that everybody already like theorizes, and then you connect with, because like Marvel does a good job with the after credit scene now, because the first one is like the sequel for that franchise, like that movie line. The second one's how it ties into the MCU, and if they kind of adopted that method, like, you're gonna get 2 after credit scenes, and stay tuned for the second one, because it might show a familiar, like, webhead friend or something like that. You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. I can see a studio doing that. I can see a director doing that. That's marketed PR. Great. But you have Toombs in the trailer. You made it believe that he was going to be a major part, along with Oscorp and all this other stuff. So that angle doesn't apply. I go back to what Chris was saying. I have to agree with you. They didn't have faith in this movie. They had to push it out just to do this. My biggest question and concern is not necessarily for Sony and for what Sony's going to do in the future. It's this fact that this director spoiled the ending and the after credit scene in an attempt to get more views and to get more people in the audience. Does this set a dangerous precedent for other creators to spoil their after credit scene in their movies to get people in when they're not feeling confident? Are you afraid at any way that this might continue?
I'm not not afraid that the decisions for directors like this will continue. I think this is kind of a fluke, weird incident, and the backlash is crazy, right? Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, clearly you were just there to make money. You didn't care about the movie, whatever the case. I think the fear now for this pop culture genre, right? This inflation of pop culture, whether it's streaming or movies. The fear is that you will make money on any type of garbage or any type of random movie thrown out there, regardless of quality. And I think that's been the fear for some time. And I think we're coming to a bubble head where it's going to pop, like it might burst. And it might be this movie that bursts it, right? Like Morbius's best attribute might be it's going to stop movies like this from being made. That's the issue, right? And we know it's not just a Sony issue, right? We're talking about Sony because it's right now. This is what's happening. This is the craziest kind of story we've had involving a movie. But we know, the X-Men and Fox
Oh
stuff
my God, the last couple of Fox movies, I'm just so destroyed and just...
Like the Phoenix stuff, terrible, right?
Even Apocalypse wasn't good.
Oh, Apocalypse was terrible, even though we've just seen Oscar Isaac and Moon Knight absolutely killing it.
Oh my God,
so,
I can't believe they're the same person.
It's crazy, right? So, just that contract stuff on the Marvel side that, Stan Lee had to deal with in the 90s is still hurting them today, right? It's to keep that MCU money going, to keep that train of money coming in. But this is going to be a problem going forward unless people just don't go to see these bad movies.
Hopefully other studios have learned their lesson with Morbius and realized that they can't put out a poor quality content and expect good results. And I think we're all in agreement here that the mindset of creating a movie is so important and so impactful to the quality of the movie, right?
Yep.
It's widespread common knowledge that Sony has to put out a Spider-Man related property every couple of years to keep the IP. That fact, and also the fact that they need that MCU money, were the main driving factors to create this movie, and not necessarily they want to make a great Morbius movie. So hopefully in the future, again, we realize that your mindset in creating content is so important.
You're absolutely right, Rob. And one final thing too, studios like this can't not only make this stuff and expect millions of dollars in just because it's a comic book character. They can't treat fans like this either. Like, we're not stupid. We know this stuff better most of the time than the people making it, right? So you can't have this avenue where it's like, oh, we're just going to throw this out there. If it's good or not, who cares? It's a superhero character. It's going to make, $500 million. No, we have to talk with our wallets. Right? Whether it's you're going to pay for this movie or not, that's part of it. If they're not going to make money on it, they're not going to do it like this anymore. And I think that's a part of it, and where the bubble needs to burst a little bit, where I'm not just going to have FOMO to go see the next superhero movie that comes out. Know exactly what is involved in this. When it comes to the standard of what these companies are trying to build, these lasting universes, these connected universes, and we're sitting here confused about even the after credit scenes, how it even connects, or if it connects to Spider-Man at all, none of this makes sense. And it's a shame when they have great things like Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Right? Grow that. I'm sure that counts as Spider-Man IP stuff. Put that out instead of these random movies that are just eating up time and wasting time and not helping the narrative move forward. But we'll see. I hope they learn from this. But again, if money talks, they probably won't.
Well, guys, that is our take on why we believe that the Morbius movie was doomed from the start. Do you also agree with us? Let us know down in the comments below.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot. If you are new, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss any more of our coverage. And if you missed anything, it's right here on the channel for you at all times. As always, I'm Chris Heller. That's Rob Moran. We're the Jersey Comic Crew, and we'll see you next time.